Miss Kardashian goes to Hollywood, and the ugly little retards, they can't handle it. Another day, another person trying to do good for this country. These people don't care. So first, we're going to go ahead and look at a couple clips from her actually being in Washington, and let's see how she handled herself.
Um, I pled the case of Alice Johnson, who the president granted clemency to. And after that, I really spent so much time going to different prisons because I really had no connection to anybody on the inside, and really just felt like for me, I'm at the place in my life that I wanted to make a difference and just wanted to do the right thing, but I didn't know how or what to do or even really.
Now, this is paramount. Kim Kardashian, just like all the other Kardashians, just like all the other Hollywood kids, celebrity kids, rich kids in general, when they've gone through life, and people might fault her for this, majorly, because basically she made it off of her looks and a sex tape, if I'm not mistaken, with Ray J. So she does. A lot of people, they've always looked down on people like that. Celebrities that have sex tapes. What do they do to make money? A few years ago, they were a huge hot commodity. They've made their money. Just slap one of their names or faces on a product, it's gonna sell. Just like whenever one of the girls came out with a makeup line, that's why a guy came out with a makeup line. He's like, oh, that James Charles guy. But she, took the initiative. Yes, she might have talked to people and people are talked her into it, but she has a voice. People respect her in a lot of different communities. Now, do people think she's dumb? Okay, I mean, I don't know how dumb she is. She's worth a lot of money. I think dumb people fuck money over. Or does she have handlers or managers? I think her mom's her manager. She's pretty smart. And then her dad was a lawyer. I don't know how stupid this woman could actually be. But let's continue to listen to her a little bit.
What was going on. And so after going to visit so many different prisons and really sitting down with lifers, with every situation you can possibly imagine, my heart just completely opened up and I wanted to do more. So
after she sat down and heard these horrible stories of people getting their life taken away for a little bit of weed, maybe who knows? There's a lot of people in prison that don't belong there. Now, on the same side of the coin, there's a lot of people that do belong in there. There's a lot of people that are in society right now that probably belong in, prison forever, but they're just not there. They haven't messed up yet. I mean, there's law enforcement officers that they're shady. You can just tell the way they are, the way you've had an interaction with them. They've done some crooked stuff in their life. Are they in jail? No, they're on the street terrorizing people.
Started to study the law, which is, law school basically in California. And my attorneys are here today, Aaron and Jessica from Cut 50. They, thank you. So
I'm going ahead and go forward in this, but she's been doing this. She's been looking into it, and they came out with a nice little program to go along with the prison reform, second chance hiring. It's a great thing. It's talking about basically gift cards for Lyft and Uber, so they can get in the car and go to wherever they need to for a job interview if they need to make somewhere. It's a good idea. I mean, I don't know how well it'll be implemented. Of course, it'll still be Lyft and Google, right?
Was magic, and the one thing that I just realized that needed so much support that I'm happy to help and be supportive where I can, was the re-entry of people home and seeing.
One of the reasons is a lot of people coming home don't have a support system. Is one of the major reasons for recidivism is no support. When you get out, like just to say for instance in Florida, you get out of prison, you used to get $100, and I mean way back in the day you'd get like $200 and a horse. Then they cut it down to just $100. I think now it's like $50, Maybe it might be 100 still, but I think it's like $50 and a bus ticket to wherever you need to go. Now they check on where you're leaving. There's a release specialist. They check on where you're going. Now, if that doesn't check out, if you're stuck, you'll get a bus ticket, or maybe somewhere, or you'll just get dropped off at the bus station at your local Greyhound station. There you are. There's your new life. You were in prison for at least in Florida. You have to be in prison. 1129 is county jail. A year and a day is prison. So you've at least been off the streets for 6 to 9 months. If you were in county jail, went to prison, all that stuff. So at least 6 to 9 months you've been off the street. Most people's jobs aren't going to be there. Relationships have been, strained. Obviously, if you were a father figure, you were gone. Your kids are going to be like, where the fuck were you? And probably they know where you were. Your mom was like, he's a dirtbag and now he's in prison. With these, little things like this, when people get out, they have a little bit more of a chance. And isn't that what people are actually fighting for? What people talk about, what people advocate for all the time? People want to act like they care. People don't actually care. If you've noticed, even in, let's say, San Francisco, there's plenty of homeless people there to help, and there's plenty of money there to take care of them. Does anything actually happen? There literally could have been a block in that city somewhere, not in even downtown. I mean, we're talking about Sunset District, on the west side of the San Francisco Peninsula thing. There's got to be an area out there where there could have been a block or two or three bought, a big compound made where homeless people could live, have a place, home, basically job solutions, job center. They would have computer lab there to help people get, whatever. They'd have treatment, and they'd have medical services, all that stuff. They could completely clean up the street, get people off the streets that really want to be. The problem with people on the streets and homelessness in general is there's a lot of pathways to get off the street. People don't really want to take those pathways. They would rather just, whatever, let me get my heroin, and I get free needles in San Francisco. We can have clean needles, and we just throw them on the street. There are sharps containers in most of the bathrooms. There's receptacles for those needles, but they just toss them on the ground, or more likely they just they'll dump their stuff or drop their stuff or lose their stuff, or it'll fall, there's really no telling. San Francisco is a disgusting place, but with reform and little things to help people once they get out of prison, it'll help society a lot. And also, the Prison Reform Act helps with prison sentences. It goes along the lines with one of my other videos where they decriminalized marijuana in prison. Like they made it legal to possess it, not to smoke it, but to possess it. Because if you possess an illegal substance in prison, there's a huge likability, whatever, that you'll get an outside charge. An outside charge is something where you're in prison. Let's say you kill somebody, you'll most definitely get an outside charge of murder or manslaughter, something like that. Let's say, for instance, you get caught with tobacco, which is contraband, which got in there somehow. Someone snuck it in their butt, or they got it from a guard, or they got it out of the guard's cigarette butts, or whatever. It's contraband, period. It's not an outside charge. It is, like, you could basically say you introduced contraband, which is a charge, but they're not going to charge you with that. They'll charge you with possession of tobacco. They might give you 30 to 10 days in confinement. They'll take away maybe your phone, maybe your commissary rights, but it's not that big of a deal. Marijuana, I don't think there's probably never been that many outside charges for marijuana per se, but you never know.
The lack of support that really existed, whether it's housing or the amount of letters that I get with people just needing transportation to job interviews, to jobs. These people want to work. They want the best outcome. And I'm so happy to be here today amongst people that want the same thing and that really believe in supporting their reentry. So I'm so...
And that's what people need. People really need a support system, especially when they're getting out of being, incarcerated for a month, 2 years, 10 years. A lot of these people coming out, they lost everything. They've lost people in their life. If you're, let's say you're 40 something years old, 50 something years old, you've had a DUI or two in your life, you get another DUI, you get 10 years in prison or something crazy like that, or even, who knows what happens. You're already old and you're in prison, and your parents are old as well. They get sick going to prison, or they get sick after you go to prison and die. I mean, for one, you can't be there to take care of them, but that's on you. Also, you can't go to their funeral. So you had to deal with that. And then, on top of all that, losing your mother or father while you've been incarcerated, not being able to see them on their deathbed, take care of them, say your last words or anything. Then you get out of prison and not have your support system. Nobody. And there's not a person in the world that is marginally successful that didn't have some kind of support system. Nobody arrived in America, on the shores of America, with $0 in their pocket, just a bunch of lint and spaghetti noodles, and they made a business. Never happened. I'm not saying people came over here with a bunch of money, but there was a support system. I'm not talking monetarily. I'm talking about personally. When you have a few people in your corner, it's a lot easier to take risks and be successful in them when you don't have anybody to take a little bit of the load off when you need them. And this is one of those things. Once you're getting re-entered into society, being able to get around to job interviews and things like that is a great thing. Hopefully the system won't be abused. Of course it will be. But this really is a great thing that, her and Kanye are trying to do. But of course, they people want to talk trash about him because, this man is in the picture. You've got Ivanka and Kim looking beautiful, just chilling. But, people want to talk trash. We should be keeping unprofessional and uneducated people out of the White House who have no qualification whatsoever, aka Kim Kardashian. I mean, I guess that's something you can say, but does that make sense? Like, why do you need to be an intelligent... Well, I mean, who's to say who's intelligent and who's not? I mean, obviously she's intelligent enough to be a millionaire and in the White House and speaking in front of cameras. Now, I mean, I'm not saying she's a genius, but... And the thing is, everybody listens to celebrities. If you have a favorite celebrity, you care about what they say over anybody else. So people that are for Kim Kardashian, they should be for Kim Kardashian. And this person obviously isn't. I mean, I'm not for or against Kim Kardashian. I mean, I like what they're doing. I know people need figureheads. You can't just have some gangly looking lady come out here that was probably, that would probably do one of these comments. That's what they look like. They're, this person that wrote this is probably a disgusting human. But this is what Kanye West does in his free time, Kim's husband. Kirk Franklin shares what he thinks of Kanye West's Sunday service. So a few Sundays ago, Kanye West went on down there. This is what Kirk Franklin had to say. Let that be his medicine. He ain't making no loot doing it. So basically, he just went up there and, performed and did it for free. Let's let people heal. I think at people's core, everybody just looking to be healed inside because we are all coming with childhood trauma, especially people of color, which is understandable. I mean, a lot of people of color grew up without their fathers, which is a huge problem, not just in the people of color community, but in American society as a whole. Everybody knows a lot of people didn't grow up with their father, and if they did, probably wasn't that great of experience, or a stepfather. But that's one of the biggest things is, taking the father out of the home. It's really disgusting, what they try to do to America. For somebody to be selling that many records and be having that much success and go, I want to do a gospel record. God is doing something in their heart. So basically, Kanye wants to do a Christian record. But I mean, you can't really fault that man. He's gone through a lot of different things. But one of the great things about this is not just, their prison reform, trying to help people out, but they're also trying to help it where people can get reformed and get back into society and get government jobs. And that's one of the bigger issues with getting out. It's not just being able to get around in an Uber to a job interview. It's actually getting good paying jobs. I mean, problem is you can get a great job or a decent paying job. You can go to different areas as long as you show up on time, you have a great aptitude, you can learn quickly, you can find a decent job entry level. But for older people with problems, they can't really be doing a lot of lifting, they can't be doing a lot of labor. A government job's great for them. Something at the DMV, something at the post office. That's great for an older felon, basically. They've been locked up for 10, 15, 20 years. They're not trying to run the street, and they're definitely not trying to be a construction worker. They're perfect for government work, especially at the DMV. They can learn all their different tricks and trades. It'd be so efficient, it's not even funny. And probably pay less money. Because you got to think, the inmates' health is great. They don't have cigarettes in there. They're great people, and they deserve a second chance. Everybody does, and that's the whole point. These people don't understand that, and it's kind of sickening. The whole point of the story is people are trying to have a second chance in life, a real second chance. Who knows what a lot of people in prison did, whether they meant to cause harm, whether it was a bad time in their life. Any way that it goes, these people are still people at the end of the day. And to basically try to demonize Kim Kardashian just because she's working with Ivanka Trump, of all people, good God, and her husband, Jared Kushner. I mean, I'm not really down with Jared Kushner. He bought the whole 666 Park Avenue and that whole thing, and I mean, who knows about that guy? He's tied into some stuff, but it's just kind of sickening the things that people can just say, and it's not even that great. People on Trump's side said, Miss Kardashian looked polished up there, which she did, well dressed, of course. I mean, of course she's going to look well dressed, but she spoke well. I mean, I've seen even commentators on CNN speak like crap. They and the thing is, she's not a speaker. She's not even any of this stuff. She's a model, and she's trying to use her platform to get this idea out there. Her husband did a great job with going there. Everybody was talking about Kanye and Trump hanging out. Him in there with his hat on, chilling. Who doesn't want to reform prison? Prison's a joke. The reason prison even came about was to make people lock them in a cell with a Bible and have them just the Bible and God, and to repent and to sit there and think about what you did in silence. Even nowadays, I mean, that's not a good idea. You can't really force somebody to learn anything or to change their behaviors. People are essentially animals. We can be taught, we can be trained, we can also be broken. Prison doesn't really break people anymore. Not the way it used to, and not the way it probably should have in conception. There's a lot of flaws in it, and one of the major flaws is it's just basically housing felons. It's just big housing units. There's some educational programs. A lot of them run along the lines of GED education, which that's a sad thing that most people don't have their high school education, but it goes along with that whole society of people, of criminals. It's a whole community of criminals. They know each other, and this is everywhere around the country. They'll go to jail. They know their friends. It's not that bad. They might go in there. They don't have any money, or they lost contact with their family. Their family don't want to mess with them. Their friends are there. They're all right. That's why people get institutionalized. That's why institutionalization is a real thing, and that's basically what Miss Kardashian's trying to do, is to stop all that. And then you have people like Loni Kyonyo. Kardashian's platform is huge already. She could announce her work without attempting to sanitize the fascist white supremacist president. What's fascist about him? I don't think he's silenced anybody's speech. I think the only person he got close to silencing speech of was Jim Acosta, and Jim Acosta whined and complained like the activist, like the activist journalist person that he is, and got his press back. That dude doesn't need to be in there. He just wants to start conflicts. Then he tried to start a conflict in front of, who was it, Theresa May, when it was Trump and Theresa May up there talking. It's ridiculous, and this person's ridiculous. Talking about highlighting Trump's compassion in quotes, like he doesn't have compassion. He's definitely got more compassion than, and none of these people even have their real picture on Twitter, which is kind of weird. You know, like why wouldn't you have your real picture? Personally, he's got the Asian dude from The Hangover as his picture, and this is kind of messed up. A monkey wearing a dress and makeup doesn't make it a woman. So I guess he's talking about Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian is literally 10 million times finer than this person's significant other, which is probably a man. This guy's probably banging a dude. I mean, come on. Let's see what this intelligent person has to say. One thing I know for sure, I don't give a flying F what Kim Kardashian tweets or the criminal Ivanka Trump retweets. How is she a criminal? What laws has she broken? I love the words thrown around. Criminal, fascist, racist, Nazi, all that stuff. They're just words, and you literally made all these words meaningless. Not figuratively. These words are meaningless, and I'm not saying they don't mean anything, like they lost their definition. They have no power anymore. They don't have the juice they used to. You know, you could be like, oh, that guy's a racist, and people are like, what'd he say? Oh, that guy said the N-word. Oh yeah, let's beat him up, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But just to be like, this person's a criminal. What evidence do you have? And does anybody really care that this person, that their picture is a mouth? I mean, there's no retweets or likes or any interaction with it, but it's just something people throw out there. It's ridiculous. This person, the Donald effed Kim Kardashian tonight twice. Ivanka watched. Okay, what? And this guy, his thing says blockchain. Oh, blockchain, whatever blockchain is. I think it's some. I don't want to get into it. This lady, I don't even know why I brought this one up. It's kind of lame. Dixie Martin, she should make the cover too. Tired of arrogant and ignorant white women being made icons just because they have money. Well, I'm pretty sure the reason Ivanka's involved in this is because she's the president's daughter. And I mean, the thing is, it's historical that the president's family get involved in certain things. Like the first lady always gets into some kind of physical fitness with kids. Just so happens this president actually has grown kids. So his daughter got into prison reform along with celebrities. I think that's a win-win because people know celebrities' voices are heard way more than Jane Blow down at the Health and Human Services office that's seen countless families, and people have this heartache and this heartbreak. People don't care what she thinks or says because she has no voice. Kanye West does, Kim Kardashian does, and they're the perfect platform to get this out, even if there's outrage about it. And that's especially great if there's outrage about it. The reason being, more people will see it and hear about it. But I think it's great what they're doing. Of course I do. I mean, I do enjoy most things that involve the Trump presidency. And this is one of the greatest things. Where were you, Barack Obama? That's really what I want to know. People always want to talk about Trump's a racist, Trump's this and that. But what did Barack Obama ever try to reform prison? Did he ever try to release people? I mean, a lot of these people that were released under the prison reform were black. I mean, let's be honest. But the thing is, I don't think Barack Obama is black. I think that's why he didn't really do too much for the black community. It was just way too many people grew up under his regime that they got used to some extremely soft, watered down, because there's nothing black about Barack Obama. There's no video footage of him being black except for the later years after the jig was kind of up and he was going out the door. His younger years when he was talking about gay marriage was bad. That's the thing. Donald Trump has been the only president to be for LGBT rights from the get-go. In his inauguration speech, he spoke about LGBTQ rights. He's a great man, okay? His family's great, and don't be mad at them because they're white and you're not. Just get over it. You understand? Just get over it. I want to appreciate anybody that watches. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell me how to fix whatever's wrong with this video. Give me some ideas for another video. I'll check you out later.